Hey, hey, welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited. I always get excited for these trainings and to be able to chat with you guys. So I know you'll be popping in. Wanted to start with a quick introduction, just so those who are new to me are aware what they can expect here, who I am, and all the things. So my name is Kirsten Allen, and I am a corporate contract strategist, which is essentially a fancy title for helping individuals land more corporate contracts in their business. I have several years of experience in the B2B space, coming from selling technology to universities, which is what we'll be talking about today, to pharmaceutical sales. I really sat down and thought about all of my different experiences as it relates to B2B. And it's literally been my entire career in some form of fashion. And so now I take this opportunity on Wednesdays to be able to share with you all one amazing topic or mindset shift, or industry insights that I'm seeing because I'm actively still in this space, hearing what decision makers are talking about, what they're concerned with, what areas they're looking to expand. And my role is to be the bridge and gap for you all to be able to feed that information back to you, give you the best practices, share with you the things after millions of dollars of sales B2B that I've done over the course of my career. I've hit my head several times, and now I'm able to share things with you that ease the road so that you can have more corporate contracts in your business. All right. So that's me, and that's what you can expect here on this channel. We are here every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Right here on my page, you'll be able to find me, and you can actually go back all the way till January at this point and see different topics that I have shared over this year, which were all really, really good. All right, so let's dive in. I don't like to spend too much time on that part. So let's dive into the content for today. So, selling to universities, the secret to selling to universities. This is obviously near and dear to my heart because, just like I mentioned to you guys a moment ago, this is literally where my career started, going onto campuses, having conversations with collegiate leadership, CIOs, the level in which universities operate in terms of their decision makers and C-suites is a little bit different. However, I was starting off my career as a 22-year-old, going and speaking to them, setting meetings and closing opportunities. And so I got a chance to understand how they think, how they move in terms of the red tape, or the best time to reach out to them, the worst time to reach out to them, all of those things. And one of the things that really sticks out to me with this audience is I actually like people that are in the university space. They are so nice for the most part. We always have those ones, but for the most part, they're so nice, so open, so responsive, and willing to discuss the best ways that you can serve their students or their faculty. And so I found that connecting with them, it had just been a joy for me. And so I would love to see more of you all do business with universities, which is why I wanted to talk about the topic today. So we're going to break this down into 3 points. There's obviously so much that I can share, and I want to be clear with you. This is not going to be an exhaustive list. This live is just to get you thinking and get you kind of seeing how this opportunity could play out for you. But there is no way I can go into all the nuances. So we're going to keep it high level. You're definitely going to get something that you can take away from here. And then at the end, you'll have an opportunity where if you would like deeper support with this, I will share that specifically. So I don't want anyone to be surprised. I do a hard split between the training, and then at the end, I will make that invitation for those who decide to stay on. So, all right, let's buckle up. The first thing that you want to think about when you're selling to universities is, as I always mention, there's so many different audiences that you could have and serve anytime you're doing any type of B2B contract. So in this case, your audiences that you can serve in universities can be, first and foremost, the students. That's obvious. So doing workshops, doing trainings, doing, keynote speeches, things of that nature to the student body is one way. Another source that you could serve inside of universities would be the faculty. So, if you do leadership training, there are actually whole departments in universities that do leadership training for their faculty members, those in leadership positions in the university, and those who are aspiring to be in those roles. And so, your faculty is also another person that you can serve. The other thing to think about is think about who these communities or these universities service outside of the students. What do they do in the community, right? So this is another interesting angle that actually just popped to my mind as I was talking at this moment. And there are universities that sponsor initiatives that are, part in partnership with nonprofits to put on programming and things of that nature. So that's a little bit more of an advanced tactic, but I want to show you that there are opportunities to make this very creative. And that's what I get most excited about. It does not have to look one way. If you're not into workshops, you don't have to do workshops. I've seen people do a varied amount of services and offer them to universities based on a common goal and need, which is why, which we're going to get to this, you want to be able to have an open-ended conversation with individuals that are decision makers, because who knows what other opportunities or what other partnerships they have going on where your expertise, your services could be a value add right in position for something they already have going on. All right, let me not get ahead of myself. All right, so the first thing is understanding who that audience is. So if you're here right now, I would love for you to drop in the comments if you're interested in selling to universities, who do you think the best fit audience would be? Would it be the individual students, the student bodies, student leaders, whatever that may look like for you? Or would it be more so of the faculty, staff, in terms of development and training and things of that nature? We talk about leadership and development like it's the law, but that is truly an opportunity for a lot of us to be able to get in with these organizations, and universities are no different. You can do this with them as well. So let me know if it's one, students, or two for the faculty and staff. So understanding that is going to be key. And then the second piece, that another secret to selling to universities, is identifying the right contact. And now this part is one of the easiest things to do. When you're thinking about corporations, it may be a little bit more difficult to figure out who's the right decision maker and things of that nature. But once you understand that first piece of what I shared with you, like who your direct audience is, you can easily find out who those decision makers are for you. So the first piece, when I talked about working with the students, think about, again, where is the area that you want to support them in? Is it career development? Is it, in their actual studies? Like, say, as entrepreneurs, there are colleges that have entrepreneurship programs. Actually, one of my clients, we brainstormed this out for her to do some type of partnership or programming with the entrepreneur department, because she does consulting on business foundation trainings in the legal aspects. Makes total sense, right? And they love to be able to have people come in from industry, which is a collegiate term for those who are in their careers, to come back and show the students exactly how they can be prosperous in set careers, things they need to think about, kind of doing a showcase, so to speak, but also having some training and things that they could take away beyond that. And so that may be your angle. So again, we talked about the different levels of who you could serve, but then there's a second level of what is the outcome that you're going to drive? Is it going to be more so focused on one layer, which is the educational side that we just described? So is it within a specific program? Is it the marketing department? Is it the engineering department? Which one of those may be a good fit for you if you're going the curriculum route? The second part is, obviously, they are training students to be able to go out in the world and be leaders in industry. So that's why they have student government and all these other different organizations, even RAs and things like that, and have whole leadership retreats, programs, trainings, even virtual or pre-recorded trainings to help these students get prepared for when they leave campus to land jobs and be able to not only come back to the university, pay your alumni dues and all of that. But another key piece of what universities do is they create partnerships with corporations. And so the more that they can send their students to these corporations and they're doing well, they're being successful in their roles, they're contributing to these companies, those companies are going to want to come back. give more money to those schools, do more programming and all the things. And so when you understand that, then you can kind of figure out, all right, where am I in that puzzle? And how can I show my value proposition and my value add based on what these universities are thinking about? What's a priority for them? So, one of those is that corporate partnership, and that is being able to graduate students who are successful in their role. I have a client right now that is in this specific area as well. She does executive presence for university students, which is essentially helping them master these 6 soft skills that help them be more successful in their roles and actually retained at the companies that they go to. And the angle for her that I shared is that, again, universities want to figure out how they can build stronger partnerships. So your value add as someone who does executive presence is, I'm preparing your students to not only, her tagline is, not only land the job, but actually stay at the job. And why do universities care about that? Because that is how they continue to get enrollment in, as well as more students are placed in different companies, and they're able to show, not only are we graduating students, but here are the amazing companies that they're going to work for. Now more students are more interested in attending a university that's at that stature. And so I always say, kind of follow the dollars. Universities is a little different because they don't necessarily sell a service or a product like a traditional corporation, but their product is enrollments, right? Their product is getting corporations to do donations to their to their school systems, their departments, and things of that nature. Not school systems, their departments, and the organizations that are on the campus. And they also go by grant programs, right? That also donate to the university, nonprofits, and things of that nature. So those are the different sources of the dollars. And where you want to find out and get locked in with is, how can you be a bridge to that? How can you help to ensure that the outcome of why they're getting these dollars, of why these corporations are partnering with them, you come in and support that, and they're willing to have the conversation. Okay. So we went deep into that area of, so we talked about, so far, I know a few people are hopping on. We talked about being able to identify who that specific person is. Whether you're serving the students or the faculty, you should easily be able to find who would be the decision maker there. But before you even step there, you want to make sure that you're looking at your outcome. So we talked about, there could be an angle where you work directly with the departments in terms of curriculum or some of the programs that they have going on. We just got a chance to talk deeply about student leadership and development and being a part of that angle. And then finally, it could be more of the career services department. So how can you be able to help create opportunities where these universities can get matched and partnered with organizations that want to hire their students? And so perhaps, again, you could be more on the soft skill side, where you're helping to prepare them for these interviews, helping them to stand out in terms of getting into these roles. But you could also be someone that helps identify companies who want to have greater presence on these campuses, and they just want to figure out how they can bridge the gap and do some programming, but they can't do it all themselves. So I've talked about this example before, but I'll bring it up here because I'm sure some of you here haven't heard it yet. But I actually was in position to do a partnership with my old university, North Carolina A&T State University, which I love so dearly, and Capital One. And essentially, we did exactly what I'm talking to you guys about. We targeted the student leadership on the campus, and the shared goal was between the universities and Capital One. Capital One is a strong corporate partner of the university. And obviously, they're doing that because they want to be able to get top talent into their company. But the bridge or the gap that we saw is, a lot of the student leaders, yeah, they're good with leading in sororities or student government and all of those things on campus. But because those things are so time consuming, they didn't have time to engage in some of the other things, like going and meeting corporate partners or doing their resume and some of these other soft skills. And so in talking with them and having an open conversation with my contact there, he was like, yeah, this is an area for us that we want to focus on, but we know we can't do the programming all ourselves. And really, to be quite honest, a lot of times these corporate partners may not have the direct expertise that you may have, I have, in terms of going deep into specific areas that could be a benefit to the students. And so You show up and you're like, okay, y'all don't have to figure this out on your own. I can actually come in and do the programming. Again, in this particular example, Capital One would be positioned to pay me as the expert to go and do work on the campus. So while I'm still working with the university, the person that pays me is totally different and honestly has way more access to capital than the university themselves. And so, again, we don't want to go too far into the creativity. This is something that I definitely help clients be able to work out what's their best avenue. But again, I want you guys to see the possibilities here. It doesn't just have to look one specific way and you go and just do this thing for the students. It could be funded by other sources. It could be funded by a nonprofit. It could be funded by corporations, like I mentioned. So it's all about being creative and having that conversation. So as we shift into the last half of this, let's talk a little bit more about what that conversation would look like. So if you've been around here for any amount of time, you ought to know that anytime I share with you how to have a discovery call or conversation, it's never about getting in anybody's email and saying, hey, just come, here's what I do, here's, what all the services that we offer, come and work with me. No. Actually, I was thinking about this morning. Often I reference pitching in my content here because I understand that resonates with most of my audience. However, what I teach is really not even a pitch. It's more of an introduction to a conversation. And I find that to be much more valuable than to jump off, ready to start talking about what you do and how they can come and buy from you. Slow it all the way down. Couple reasons that you want to do this, and this is fresh on my mind because I just did a training yesterday evening with a sales team at a clinical lab, and so I went through this process with them. The main thing that you want to do when you have that conversation is you want to get their interest and you want to get them moved to a phone call. And so I just shared with you all these different ways of how they think and what will pique their interest. Your goal is to one, introduce yourself in any type of outreach that you're doing, especially we'll talk about email in this example. Once you identified your contact, you know who you're looking to speak with, and I'll talk more about that in just one second. You want to craft a message that is very simple and structured like this. Your first sentence should just be who you are, what it is you do, short, one sentence. From there, you want to let them know why you're reaching out. A lot of times when I get messages from people that are trying to, pitch me and things like that, it's not clear to me why they are reaching out. I understand why it's clear for them because they want to sell me their product, but that doesn't land. What lands is, why are you reaching out? Why should this matter to me? Why do I need to respond to this email? So anytime you write in an email or a LinkedIn message or make a phone call, if you're doing cold calls, think about what is important for this person. What will make this person want to open this email and respond to me? And newsflash, you're buying your services, even if it's the hottest thing on the market, the best thing that they need and all of that, that is not an incentive for them to want to respond to you. You got to come with something else. And so you want to be able to hook them. Hey, I saw that X, Y, and Z University just got this huge partnership with Capital One. We're talking about Capital One. And, they're looking to recruit some students from your campus. I see that they're a huge corporate partner. I would love to chat with you more about how that relationship is going and how you're setting up your students for success in terms of leaving the campus and going into companies such as this. So that's the why. Invitation to reach out, to invitation to have a discussion moving forward. I would love to discuss this with you further. Are you available to speak on X, Y, and Z date? Here's my calendar link, or however you want to run that. So the whole goal is something to spark their interest. I could show you countless emails where this has worked like a charm, versus saying, hey, I have this amazing workshop program. It's 10, series to get to this. And it's all about soft skills and these great things. And I would love to talk with you more about this and see if we can get you signed up. Doesn't work as well. Two things of why it doesn't work well. Again, what we mentioned with, does this really land with the individual? Sometimes you may be speaking on things that sound good. Again, remember I mentioned when you send out an email or when I receive emails, I can see how this sounds good for the person on the other end. I just can't see how it sounds good for me. And even when we do research on companies or universities in this case, and we see things, we still don't know what's going on the back end. So we don't want to assume. We want to be able to open the door for conversation, ask questions, and use the discovery call to be able to gather intel that helps us be able to put together a really well-rounded proposal or an overview of what we could provide to the university. And so that's one reason. The second thing is you kind of pigeonhole yourself or put a door right in front of yourself only at the limit of the things that you discussed. So, yes, you may have this amazing workshop series that you do that could be great. Or, Jessica, you may have this screenwriting program that you can do and deliver to the students, but perhaps they have some big event that's going on, some type of retreat, or, some type of training series that they already have planned where they could use speakers that are in your particular area of expertise. And that's probably a better opportunity. Right. So, because we don't know that and we don't want to assume that, we also don't want to shut ourselves off to other potential opportunities. Our goal is to instead invite them and say, hey, let's have a conversation about the overall state of what you're doing and see if there's any opportunities where I can serve you. And through the conversation, things may come out. This is why I say sell the discovery call instead of your services. And one, you'll get more responses, but you also may be able to add another zero to the invoice, right? Because essentially, they may come up with more opportunities for you to be able to serve them. Or you could be saying something that sounds good, but they could have a whole nother program or something going on the back end that you didn't even know about that could be a better value add to the organization and also allow you to get further deep, what we would say, gather some stickiness within the organization, meaning we're not just doing one workshop or one series. Perhaps there is a semester-long opportunity that you could be a part of. And by having that conversation, that's the only way that you're going to learn about it. So if I could leave you guys with anything, make sure that whether it's universities or corporations or nonprofits, always sell the opportunity to discuss more because you never know what may come out of it. Yes, we have our signature services and our workshops that we give, but let's co-create a particular opportunity or service for someone that's within our wheelhouse. That is something that we can do like the back of our hand, of course. But let's lock into what's important to them and their priorities. And from there, let's put together a customized package or, give them a service that, again, you co-created together, and they're much more likely to get bought in. Nobody likes to, be addressed or coming to someone with a cookie cutter option and saying, hey, just come buy this. Well, what is it? Right? But if you give these people the opportunity to give their input, to have the stage, to be able to share and talk. Y'all know how much people just like to talk about themselves and spill all the information, give you all the details of everything they're looking to do. We just need to have our mouths closed, ears open, notepad or whatever it is that you do when you have discovery calls, and just be taking notes. Catch everything that they say, because that information is going to help you be more successful when you move on to the proposal phase. And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, like I'm ready to go, because you're going to be giving them back the same information that they gave you. So the skill set, if anything that you want to work on, is thinking about how you can ask the best questions so that you can extract information from those individuals as they are looking to move forward and work with you. Okay. All right. So now that we've I want to shape this up because I know we covered a few different points, and I love seeing your comments in here. I'm going to circle back with you guys once we end today. But if you just popped on, definitely go back because this was really good. We started with talking about how to identify between the students, the faculty, who is it that you're going to serve. We talked about some opportunities to do that in a creative way. We talked about being able to go in and devise what that plan of action is going to be. It doesn't have to just look one particular way. There are so many different ways that you can serve organizations. And ultimately, what you want to do is open the door for a conversation so that you and that other individual on the phone, because they're smart, they have priorities, they know what their leadership or, the people above them are looking for. Let them give you all the intel and then use that to be able to develop what that proposal will look like. And they basically talk themselves into working with you. I've used this over the years and it just works entirely too well. And instead of me trying to force someone into a solution, they're much more apt to take to say yes when they've talked themselves into it. All I'm doing is asking the right questions, and I know I have the solution to provide, and I have an outline of what it looks like, but it's flexible enough for me to be able to address this particular university's needs. All right. Woo! So we talked a lot. All right. So as we wrap this up, again, as always, if you came just for the training, then that is the conclusion of this week's training. I hope you got a lot of great takeaways from it. I saw the comments, so feel free to leave a comment. However, please stay on if you would like to hear more information about not just how to take this and, be able to start sending out messages and, kind of figure it out on your own, but how can you get support in doing this? So this is for the people who really want to move the needle, especially as we're about to move into a new budget year. You want to get added to the line. You want to get added to the budget. You want to be a line item on the budget if you are interested in doing work with universities and even in corporations. So with that being said, I want to talk to you guys about our VIP Day Sprint. And I'm so excited about this. This is an opportunity for clients to get to work with me in a VIP day, but also get 90 days of support as they are building out their corporate contract business. So this is for those individuals, again, who want to be able to get the information and run with it, who want to understand who is that ideal person, if that is in universities that they should be working with, and who wants to craft those creative ideas and angles and get my eyes on and my experience and background being in this space on what is the best opportunity for you to begin penetrating universities with the services that you provide. And it's also for the individual who wants to figure out who are those specific decision makers. So we didn't talk about this in detail, but leveraging LinkedIn and other tools that I suggest for clients to use to identify who is that director of student activities that you should be talking to, or who is that individual over the career services department that will be a great fit for the services that you have to offer, and what is that tailored message that you want to send to them. So I gave you the overall script or the overall structure of how to do that. But when I work with clients, I get to roll up my sleeves and say, here's exactly what you should say. Here's the people that you need to work with. And here is how your strategy around reaching out to them, getting the contract in, and moving forward. And so during that VIP day, we literally go from your offer, your marketing strategy, all the way down to your sales, in which we wouldn't have time to talk about today. But there's a whole other process for when you get them on the phone call to be able to, again, get them talking themselves into your solution, to ask those appropriate questions, to be able to borrow my brain and how universities work and be able to show up as the expert that you are, but also making sure you don't leave opportunities on the table. And so you spend 4 hours with me. Trust me, it sounds long, but it goes by so fast. And we go through all of this. And by the end of the day, you leave with your process ready to go. We actually have a client that's in process of this right now that did a VIP day with us last month. And she was beyond amazed in how much we were able to cover and the strategy that she has moving forward to begin attracting clients in her space in the corporate realm. And so after that, because as I mentioned, this is a sprint, you get my support. From my experience, I've seen about 90 days, clients are in a place to start pitching or even have landed their first contract. So I want to be able to support you as you're implementing the things that we cover in your VIP day and be able to course correct. Because although I'm sharing with you a simple process, there are caveats and things that occur. And so having support and being able to course correct is also important to me. And I want to be able to make sure clients are supported in that way. And so that's what we do. That's the VIP Day Sprint. I'm super excited to get you all who are interested to apply, first of all, and be able to have a conversation with me to learn more about it and see if it's a good fit for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a comment here. I think I should be able to get it. Sometimes it says it doesn't post comments to Facebook, but I will circle back if it does not post here. It is also linked in my bio as well. If you would like to go and apply for that VIP Day Sprint, you're just going to go over to the website. It's kirstenjallen.com/WWK, which is work with K. I don't think it posted to Facebook, but that is how you can apply for this opportunity and also discuss other ways to work with me. The VIP Day Sprint is like our signature thing that we do to help people go from, I'm trying to figure out how to get these contracts on a repetitive basis. Perhaps you have gotten referrals in the past, or opportunities just fell in your lap and you want to figure out how to recreate that in your business in a strategic way, then this VIP day is for you. So go ahead and click that link if you can see it, or if someone wants to type it in for me, that would be great. And then we can have a conversation about how to move this forward. All right, guys, if you have any thoughts, definitely comment them here on this post. And I look forward to working with you guys in this VIP Day Sprint if it's a good fit for you. I do want to let you know that we are almost booked for June, which is crazy. June is almost booked. So we'll be moving into July, which of course will be a short month because of the holiday, and then for the rest of the summer. So if this is something that you want to get in front of, again, if you want to be a part of these corporations or these universities' budget and not, kind of a forethought once they already have everything allocated, this is the time to get your offer very clear, your marketing in place, and have a solid sales system to carry them through once you get that interest. And that is what we do in the VIP Day Sprint. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM and I will talk to you guys soon. I will see you all next week. We're here every week, 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, doing another amazing topic. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week.